Okay, and we're back. Let's see. And of course, Freddy versus Jason is the review. Alright, so let's break this bitch down piece by piece. Honestly, what I remember of this movie from my childhood, because I believe it came out in 2003 and I was 12 at the time, probably 13. I remember being in the kitchen with my sister and my brother, one of my brothers, and wondering, each of us wondering, how does Jason get to Elm Street? Does he fly? Does he run? Does he walk? And the second thing was, I remember, dude, that goalie was pissed. And three was, what? What's up with this ending? Who won? What's up with all this? I remember being really confused, and I wasn't exactly enthused about the movie. But anyway, starting from the beginning, as I popped in this movie to watch it, now we can 7 years later. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm slow right now. It's early in the morning. And now 7 years later, I'm watching it with a lot more horror information, and I sat down, and the first thing I thought is like, wow. If you're gonna go watch this movie, obviously you have to be a fan of either Freddy or Jason, you know? And pretty much, I believe that people were pretty much set. We don't give a shit about Jason if we're a Freddy fan, and we don't care about Freddy if we're a Jason fan. So, the whole introduction is about Freddy. He's sitting there, they're reenacting the whole scene from the first one that he gets burned, and he's like, doing a little monologue, like, and they burn, and I'm like, who cares? Why do we care? What's the point of all this? And Robert Englund is kind of ridiculous in the way that he...
I can't come back if nobody remembers me! I can't come back if nobody's afraid!
So overdramatic. I mean, I hate saying that about Robert Englund, but this is honestly his poorest portrayal of Freddy that I have seen. Honestly. And then Jason gets like no backstory, and he gets like nothing. I mean, the only thing I enjoyed about the beginning of this movie was just how you saw, all the Freddy movies, a little Freddy montage, of every deaths of all the, like, some of the films, not all of them, obviously. And I really did enjoy that, but then I realized, where's Jason's little montage? Why doesn't he get, like, a best of, I guess you could say. And I felt kind of like, what the fuck? Why is it so geared towards Freddy? Is it because he's the one that could talk? Yeah, but whatever. And then we go into the lake, and there's this random bitch, and Jason kills her. And honestly, for you guys that don't know, it's not Kane Hodder, so from the get-go, you're disappointed. And you're thinking to yourself, this guy is just like a lumbering piece of fucking shit. Like, he's just not as good. Anyway. And then they go into, Elm Street, and they don't even have the original bitch in the movie. That's also a problem. They go to Elm Street, and then you have all these characters being introduced, and Jason makes his first kill. How did anyone not notice or hear his big ass steps that he makes in this movie? I don't know. Another honorable mention is that Catherine Isabel. If you don't know her from Ginger Snaps, then you should. She's in this movie, and she probably delivers the line that made me laugh the most.
You kids need some assistance?
That really got me laughing back in the day. But anyway, and after all the initial stuff, I mean, in the story, there really is no problem but after the whole, introducing whoever, the beginning is just so, because they waste so much time with introductions and stupid shit like that. I mean, and also introducing the character that they're using, so it's enough in a movie where when you have to introduce a character in an awkward, fast way, so you can just kick off with the story, but have to introduce 3 characters, it gets kind of, tedious. And the character's name is Lori, and I thought that, wow, that's like tie-in, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday 13th, and Halloween all in one. Big problem I had with the bitch playing Laurie was that she was totally unsympathetic. Like, she's, Kelly Rowland is talking to her on two separate occasions, and she's like, oh, you gotta get over it, your first love when you were 14. And I'm like, okay. And then we have another thing where her mom was killed or whatever, she died. And I'm like, okay, so you're supposed to be a virgin, but you look like you had breast implants. Oh, I'm confused. You know, they do not look natural to me. And she's so unsympathetic, and she can't act. You know, she's so dramatic. They have moments in the movie. They have a moment in the movie where she's being interviewed by the Owen Wilson lookalike. And
You know, to tell you the truth, Lori, I just moved here about a month ago. But if they have a suspect, I'd be the first to know.
But they asked me all these really weird questions, like about my dream.
it looks like they shot it in two separate takes. Like she was saying, she was talking to no one, and then he came in and talked to no one, or something like that. But she just did it so ridiculously. I mean, I did not feel for her. It was only until the very end that she did a pretty, an okay job. You're like, all right, bitch, you might as well. But everything else just is like retarded with her. Kelly Rowland, I know a lot of people think like, oh, what's she doing in this movie? But I thought she did an okay job. For the script that she was given, you know, she was okay. Can't say that she was bad. She didn't do anything wrong to me. She did okay, you know? That's all. And then they have people like another character, Linderman, and all those other people. They just have like disposable characters in this movie. I feel like they always needed someone to fill in the comic relief. In the first part of the movie, it was Catherine Isabel's character, who was like always constantly smoking and drinking. And then when she gets killed, it becomes Kelly Rowland's character. No, yeah. And then when the other bitch gets killed, actually before she gets killed, it becomes more like the drug guy who says that goalie was pissed about something. And then it goes back to her more, and then when she gets killed, it's more left on to Freddy. Yeah. I didn't. As for everything else was okay, except for the fact that, you know, the beginning and also the whole Jason is scared of water thing. I know that Freddy's thing is about nightmares and what's Jason's nightmare, but portraying him, you know, as he can't, you know, through water, he can't slice and dice through water. I'm like, this nigga passes water every day. I mean, didn't he like impale some bitch in water? Like, I don't know, like. You live in Camp Crystal Lake. You're telling me that you're afraid of water? What? I thought he was too dumb to be afraid of water. I don't know. Anyway, that was one problem. The second problem was the end, where she's coming out with the torches, doing like the Olympic thing, like, Freddy!
Freddy! Go to hell!
Like, that was the most ridiculous shot to me. Even when I was a kid, I was looking at that, I was like, is the Olympics? You know, I don't know. Whatever. And then, what else? Yes, I don't know. Everybody, every character, I mean, you don't even remember names. You know, they mention names, and you don't even know who the fuck is who. It was just really a sad attempt at making some money. I mean, I'm not enthused. The movie was retarded. It was okay. It's like a mindless little thing. It really is. Anyway, I'm going to come back with part 3 and tell you what I think this movie should get, and it's probably going to be higher than you think. So yeah. Join me for part 3 of Freddy vs. Jason.